Hi guys, in today's video, we'll be running through 5 fancy chord progressions that you can add to your repertoire and practice improvising on. These progressions are meant for you to sound fancy and thus contain slightly more difficult chords as compared to those you hear in generic pop songs, but are by no means out of your league even if you are a beginner at improvising. I've come across these progressions over the years, often by learning certain more complex songs by ear, learning how this progression sounds, and learning to use them in my improvisations. Even being aware of these progressions took some time, as it often depended on whether the song I was learning at that point in time contained these more interesting progressions. As such, I'm here to share 5 such chord progressions with you in order to shorten your learning curve for your improvisation journey, so that you ideally won't need to take as long as I did in learning about these progressions. Hopefully, after this video, you have leveled up your improvisations by adding these progressions to your repertoire, and also be somewhat able to identify these progressions by ear should you be learning a song that contains them. The first chord progression I want to share with you contains only 3 chords, but it's jazzy in a simple but beautiful way. Here's how it goes: E minor 7, E flat minor 7, D minor 7, and here's how it sounds. Notice that the middle chord, E flat minor 7, is more of a transition chord that leads to the D minor 7 chord. This is known as a passing chord, which just means that it connects 2 main or diatonic chords. If you're not that confident of which notes to improvise in a melody, remember that notes in a chord will always work with the chord. For instance, if your current chord is a E minor 7 and you're not sure of what note to play in your right hand, just pick one note inside the E minor 7 chord and play it. Another thing to remember about improvising is that you don't necessarily need to improvise a melody all the time. You can play the chord itself or an inversion of the chord in your right hand and it can still sound great. The second chord progression that I want to share with you today has this peacefully sad and emo vibe, and it goes like this: F major 7, E minor 7, D minor 7, G, and C major 7. Here's how it sounds. This progression isn't as common as many others and can add a new feel to your improvisation if you're new to this progression. In addition, we can take this progression a step further and combine this progression with the previous progression. In our first progression, when moving from E minor 7 to D minor 7, we played an E flat minor 7 chord in between as a passing chord. We can do the same for this progression as well, and this kind of levels up our progression by a little. Here's how it sounds now. The third progression I want to share with you today is an extension of our previous one. It goes F major 7, F minor, E minor 7, A7, D minor 7, G, C major 7, and C7. And don't worry if you can't remember this chunk of chords, as I've included all the progressions in the description down below. Here's how it sounds. In particular, notice the C7 chord that happens at the end of the progression. This is simply here to lead back to the F major 7 chord. So if you are ending your improvisation phrase here, do remember to leave out the C7 chord and just end with a normal C major chord instead. The fourth progression I want to share with you today goes like this: D minor, G, C, F, B diminished, E, A minor, A7. And here's how it sounds. Similar to the previous progression, take a look at the last chord of the progression, A7. The A7 chord is here only to lead back to the D minor chord if you want to play the progression again. But if you wish to end your improvisation here, do remember to leave out the A7 chord and just end with the normal A minor chord. For this progression specifically, I want to show you an accompaniment pattern that goes very well with it if you all are interested. Here's how it goes. This accompaniment pattern was from one of the soundtracks in this old anime Bleach, and I still use it to this day. Do give it a try and let me know what you think. The last progression I want to share with you today has a more special vibe. It goes D minor, G, C major 7, then D minor, E7, A major 7. And here is how it sounds in practice. Notice how the first few chords have more or less a normal, sad emo kind of feel, but the last chord, A major 7 here, adds a special new fresh, optimistic, here's a new perspective kind of feel to our playing. I learned of this progression while learning by ear the song My Destiny, a song with both Chinese and Korean versions from some drama, Man from the Stars, and really like how the A major 7 chord sounds in this context. As such, while I'm quite surprised that this progression is not used more, I just wanted to share this in hopes that more players will become more aware of it. All in all, do give these chord progressions a try, and hopefully you'll be able to level up your improvisation game as well as improve at identifying these different chords by ear. Thanks for watching, and do let me know down in the comments below if you found value in this video. If so, do consider giving this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already, if you don't wish to miss more similar videos, and also because it will really help out this channel in the long run. I'll see you in the next one.